Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the World's Media Podcast. And today, we're not doing a podcast, but I do have an interview with, I know I'm going to mess it up already, Swede Savard. I'm really hoping I didn't mess that up. I'm doing this on YouTube and Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Anyway, let's bring in our guest. Hello, how are you today?
Excellent. What about yourself?
I'm doing very good as well.
Right.
So I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day on PlayStation, and he's like, "Hey, you know this guy?" I'm like, "I mean, I don't know him. I'm like, I just added him like a week ago or whatever." And he's talking about how he's like your biggest fan and he loves you. And he's like, if you get him on for an interview, you have made it. And I'm like, I wonder.
Oh, well, I'm glad to be on. Thank you for the invite.
Of course. I'm down to interview everybody, no matter what.
Excellent. Maybe I'm the first of many CHW wrestlers.
Maybe we'll see. I guess. That actually be pretty cool if I get they get all them. Maybe even do a reunion out here. Who knows?
Absolutely.
So I do have a question before I get into like the actual interview part.
Sure.
So you guys ended in what, 16, right?
I think 2015 was when we shot our last season.
Was it 15? Okay.
And then I think the last videos aired in 2016, but we actually stopped filming in 2015.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was looking at the Facebook page and it said that it went from 09 to 16. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's what, 7 years? I mean, that's...
Yeah, 7 years. We actually did an 8th year, part of that last little event, but that was really just to close the show so that all the wrestlers could say goodbye to the fans. So it was 8 years, but 7 seasons.
Oh, right. Yeah. All right, cool. I was looking at the website. I see that that's still up.
Yeah.
Is all that information correct to 2015, 2016?
I believe so. I think our web host updated everything for the final time, so he put all the champions, the results. So I think it's pretty much up to date.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And I think they might have even announced the CHW Network on the website, which is our ongoing series where they're basically retconning the story from season 1 and onward.
Oh, okay. All right. I did see that. I was looking it up. Oh, stop it. I was looking up the YouTube channel because I'm like, I've never heard of this, and I'm fairly new into backyard wrestling. So I'm like, I'm gonna look this up, and I'm like, that's weird. It says he's former, and yet here's a new video from just the other day. It was very confusing to me.
No, understandable. There's a few comments that come in about the confusion because we've been closed for so long. Now there's videos going up, so
yeah. I was like, oh man, I have to know what's going on here. But okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Yeah. I don't like to push myself, but I will say I'm also I'm a current backyard wrestler.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah. So is there anything that from a seasoned vet, I guess?
Seasoned vet.
Is there anything for like people just getting into maybe backyard wrestling or maybe want to do professional wrestling? Is there anything that you have, like any advice for them to kind of start with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My best piece of advice above everything else is to really have fun, enjoy yourself, and of course be safe, because you could still put on a good show, entertain, do all the moves and stunts that you want to do, but you could still be safe about it because you don't want to be like me, 30 years old and all broken down a little bit,
Right.
So it's all about being safe, having fun, planning things out properly, not just from a match perspective, but really think about the fans, what they want to see, and the stories that you're telling.
All right, good advice. So we are going to start here. I know it's like almost 5 minutes into this, but so I have to ask. I asked everyone the same questions. When did you first get into professional wrestling as like a fan?
As a fan, believe it or not, I actually remember the moment when I started watching wrestling. My best friend, you might know him from the channel, Jesse the Bruiser Bedard. He is my legitimate best friend, not just in storyline.
Right. Yeah.
And he was a little bit of a wrestling fan a bit before I was.
Oh.
And I think I was 6 years old at the time. He invited me over to his house because he was watching WrestleMania 12. And one of the first matches that I remember is Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match in Anaheim, California.
Wow.
And honestly, I guess I could say I was hooked from day one because I saw these guys as literal superheroes, like live superheroes. You know, seeing Shawn Michaels come in from the rafters on the zip line, Bret Hart, the excellence of execution, just like what a first match to introduce me to the business, you know?
Yeah. That's a really good match to start with.
Absolutely. And then after that, I think I never missed an episode of Monday Night Raw.
Wow. Are you keeping up with all the wrestling today with Raw and AEW and stuff?
A little bit. I do currently have the WWE Network. I really love the documentaries that they do on that service. I watch every now and then WWE pay-per-views whenever I have the time, but I don't really keep up too much with everything that's happening.
Okay. All right.
Earlier this year, I did watch a lot of AEW when they first came out with their show Dynamite. I was a major fan. I loved all the characters, the Young Bucks, the Luchasaurus. These are guys that I've never really seen before because I really only followed WWE for a long time.
Right.
But recently, I kind of stopped watching AEW as well.
Okay. Yeah. For me at least, it's hard to get into it when there's like 20 fans in the stands and there's not like all that hype, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot less fun in the pandemic era.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So being a fan, how did you kind of get into the backyard wrestling? What was kind of like your first forte into that?
Probably when I joined school, elementary school. Me and Jesse, we obviously went to the same school.
Yeah.
And at the time, around 96, 97, wrestling was very, very popular in the mainstream. Everybody was wearing NWO t-shirts, Austin 316 t-shirts. So my school was just full of wrestling fans, and we would go into the schoolyard and do our thing, you know, backyard wrestling at recess, backyard wrestling at lunchtime. And I used to make championship belts. Back then, they were made out of paper, you know, it was just written on paper, world champion. But we used to fight for that belt, and it meant everything. So that would be my first exposure to backyard wrestling. Before I really knew that it was called backyard wrestling. It was just wrestling to me at the time.
Yeah, just kids having fun, you know.
Exactly.
So you're from Philadelphia, correct?
Currently I live closer to Pittsburgh, but I did come from Philadelphia. That's right.
Where ECW was
absolutely
while they were around.
Yep.
Did you go any of their shows? Did you see any of the Extreme Championship Wrestling stuff?
No, my parents would have never let me go there because I was very young at the time when ECW was very popular, so I wasn't able to go to any of their shows.
It's kind of funny because from what I've seen on the new channel there, it looks like you would have fit right in with all that.
Oh man, it would have been awesome to be in there with Tommy Dreamer, the Sandman, Rhino, Raven, all of those guys. Oh man, I thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, well, maybe say some ECW as a kid. I don't know. Could have been.
So you're in school. When does the actual when does the thought of what is it, CHW kind of arise?
The thought of CHW, a lot of people say, like yourself, it started in 2009, but it actually started way beyond that. Me and Jesse created CHW in 1996 or 7, pretty much when we started wrestling. But it was then called the CHF, the Crazy Hardcore Federation. And then, of course, later we changed it to Crazy Hardcore Wrestling. Mm-hmm. But I would say that, of course, the 2009 version, what you guys know, it's not really associated with what we did in the past.
Right. Yeah, it's a little more violence in the.
Oh, absolutely.
in the reboot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm big on production. I like the production side of wrestling. Who was like? Did you guys have like a single person filming, or was it like multiple different people like we do it today, or how was that?
That was an evolution. When we first started, if you look at our earliest video, season 1, it was pretty much just the 4 of us, me, Miniac, Matt Rage, and Bruiser. And everything you saw, the referees, the cameraman, it was one of us 4 doing the job. But that gradually evolved over time. In season 2, we got 2 cameramen. Our editing got better. Our sound got better. Everything just got better over the years.
Okay. All right. So season 1, you guys put it all on YouTube, right? Or did you put it on other things?
No, YouTube is where we got our start.
YouTube. Okay. Because I was looking up all your stuff there, and the website, I think, says Dailymotion and Vimeo as well for the re-uploads.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, because I know YouTube wasn't as big as it is today. And I know, Dailymotion and all them were around at the same time and still around, kind of.
Yeah. It's a shame that we didn't put more of our videos on other platforms because, as you know, YouTube now is very sensitive about the kind of content you're allowed to put on it.
Yeah.
So a lot of our videos have been flagged or just simply removed. And now some fans ask for them, but they don't know where to find them. It's because YouTube took them down. So it's good to have other platforms like Vimeo, Dailymotion, Twitch, I think.
Twitch,
Yeah, just to make sure that the library is preserved. If fans want to see one match, it's going to be there. And Vimeo, Dailymotion, you can pretty much upload anything on there, really.
That's true. Yeah, their TOS is very loose.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question before you continue. Is there anything that would bring any of you guys back for like a last match type of thing in backyard wrestling?
Truthfully, and I guess I could announce this here for the first time live. Might
Exclusive.
As well.
Here we go.
Yeah, we've been thinking about it. I'm not going to lie if I didn't say that this past October, there started to be some conversations between us, the guys, Matty Boyle, the general manager, and we were thinking about doing a comeback. Unfortunately, 2020 happened, the pandemic happened, and we weren't able to gather. Traveling was an issue. Everything became an issue. So it kind of got put on the back burner.
Okay.
As for if a reunion is still possible, maybe this summer, depending on how things go in the world, I'm going to say never at this point, but I will say exclusively we have been talking about it, doing a comeback season, if you will.
All right. Well, you know what? If you do it, we're friends on Facebook. If you want me there, I'll even where'd it go? Oh, it's over there. I have a faction called the Midwest Mafia, and I edited a Bible, and the first part is now Black Bible. So I'll bring that, and I'll bring myself folding shirts.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to it.
Yeah. And all right, so you guys start season 1, and it's just 4 of you, right? You said 4?
That's right, the original 4.
All right. I know you just said her name, but I can't remember how you pronounce it.
Miniac, my wife.
Miniac, yes.
She's a mini maniac. That's not why she calls herself that, but I always call her the mini maniac. Miniac.
So how did everyone get their names for the season 1 there?
Pretty much everybody used their real name, except for Matt Rage. I can't say his last name. His last name isn't obviously Rage.
Right.
And Miniac had her name long before CHW. She used to be an indie wrestler for many years before joining CHW. So she just used the name that she went with. Me, I went with my regular name, as did Jesse Bedard, the Bruiser.
Okay. All right. I just got to say hello to Wolfman there.
How's it going, Wolfman?
Wolfman. Yeah. Cool. So season 1 is just 4 of you. Season 2, how many people did you add anybody to the actual roster for season 2?
I think the number went from 4 to 16, if I'm not mistaken. We might have had 16 guys in season 2. So there was a huge expansion as soon as we started putting our videos on YouTube. Wrestlers from around the area started discovering us. They wanted to join in on the fun. So I think it might have been 15 or 16 people, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow, that's a huge explosion in just a season. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, where? Hold on. Were you ever professionally trained for wrestling before you
Yeah,
did?
I trained for 1.5 years at Jacques Rougeau's school. He used to be known as the Mountie in
Yeah,
WWF way back in the day, the Rougeau
way
family.
back.
Yeah, way back then. And I had about a year and a half training. His
All right.
school was very good. I enjoyed it because he pounds the fundamentals into your head, running to the ropes, bumping, being safe. He teaches you all these things so that you could have a long, safe, and healthy career, which I got to say I did, aside from all the light tubes and chairs. He never taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
But yes, I trained at Rougeau School from 2007 to 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So how many trained wrestlers did you have in this? Because I know you were, you said Miniax was anybody else?
Everybody had training in CHW, despite what a lot of comments say. I mean, people will be people on YouTube, but all of us have had professional training.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I know a lot of backyard feds, at least, today, we do it because we don't have that kind of money anymore, to actually get
Right.
trained, which is very upsetting because I know so many people that if they got trained, for what I've seen with you guys, I mean, I was surprised you guys didn't hit it big on the indies, to be quite honest. I mean, that was,
Yeah. I mean, I saw it as a fork in the road, really, when my career was getting started up. I've always been somebody that wants to make my own path in life.
yeah,
And, the popular thing to do, as you mentioned, is to go to wrestling school, get trained, get booked, join the indies, hopefully make it to, developmental NXT or something like that.
yeah.
Me, I just always wanted to do things my own way. And I always loved backyard wrestling.
Um, so I know Beck in the past few years has been very frowned upon in the big leagues.
Hmm.
Um, did you kind of know when you or kind of did you at least think about it when you started doing backyard wrestling? Like, well, I'm trained, but maybe this isn't going to get me booked on any shows. Um, even back then, was that a thought in your head?
Uh, no, honestly, it never crossed my mind. I knew that when I joined Backyard Wrestling exclusively, I knew
Mhm.
that there would be a big chance about me never really going anywhere else. But it never bothered me. And a lot of that is just due to the overwhelming support that we got over the years on YouTube. I feel like we did achieve success in our own unique way.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Um, yeah. So season 2 starts, and you have 15 or 16 people.
Yeah.
So who was doing the booking for season 1 and probably 2 as well?
Season two, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were still under the Real Nathan Naturals regime.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you remember him. Big guy, mustache, thick eyebrows, Italian.
Mm. Wow.
But yeah, he took charge of CHW up until season three, and
Oh,
then we had a guy named Malik Clark take over in season four, and finally our last authority was Matty Boyle.
okay. So the are they also the on-screen GM as well, or just behind the scenes?
They were the lead when it came to behind the scenes, but they also took a lot of suggestions from everybody. I'm not going to lie when I say that CHW wasn't a team effort. Everybody did their part, whether it was creatively with some ideas or setting up the tables,
Yeah.
buying ladders, camera work. We all did our part in CHW, but there always had to be one person who makes the final say on everything. Otherwise, it's just it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Butting heads a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh. All right. Cool. Yeah. I don't know the history, so I'm trying to get as much information as I can.
Not a problem.
All right. So season 2, uh, it says here on the website, um, that you're a 3-time CHW backyard champion. Um, when did you win your first championship, your first world championship?
Season two, And what happened there was that my wife Miniac, she was the champion at the time, and she was expected to have a really, really long title reign. I don't remember how long; could have been 2 years maybe.
Mhm.
And she got hurt. She got injured. A piece of barbed wire went inside of her leg, so they had to vacate the championship. And then I was pretty much keeping the belt warm for her.
Okay.
And that was my first CHW Backyard Championship reign. Season 2
Alright.
against Jesse the Bruiser Bedard ladder match. TLC Plus match, actually.
um. So so you and Miniac are married. Were you guys always together in while you were doing the wrestling?
Yeah, we are a real life couple in real life as we are on screen in CHW SNM.
Okay. All right. Cool. Um. So season 2 ends. Do you lose anybody? Do anyone fall off? Like, oh, I don't actually like this, or did you just gain more people for season 3?
We definitely took a hit in season 3. 3 people that I could remember off the top of my head that left was Scorpion. And the reason for Scorpion leaving is that when we got to the summer of 2011, when we filmed season 3, he just completed this big sleeve tattoo where he had like tattoos all over his body. And they obviously don't recommend, getting lit on fire when you got new tattoos. So he took the summer off.
Okay.
David Storm also, I think he had a kid. So, fatherhood calls. And Manson, I believe, sustained an injury. So that's why Manson wasn't able to be there. But besides those 3 guys, I think everybody else was there.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I have the website up, so I'm going to look at it for a minute.
Our 1998 website, it looks like a site that was made in the Windows 98 era. It's cute though. It's cute. I like what they did with it.
It is. Yeah, I like it. I like that you guys that have like the pictures, and then like you have like certain colors for certain things. I'm very big into design and production, so
Excellent.
Manson, that's what I want to talk to you about. So Manson, is he actually from Puerto Rico?
Yeah, that's right. He's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, that's cool. So on the site, I'm not sure if this is true. It says that he left to go back to Puerto Rico. That's
correct. Yeah.
That is correct. Okay, all right. Because I know sometimes in kayfabe, just kind of happens, So.
Oh yeah, for sure. One thing about CHW is we were pretty straightforward. If we said that a wrestler got injured, it's because they really got hurt. If somebody had to move away, usually we tried to be straight up with those things.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. All right, so season 3 starts. There's like 3 people that leave. Maybe could be more. Who knows? Memory is a weird thing.
Yeah, a long time ago. Too many concussions too.
I don't, but I do at the same time.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's right. Oh, jeez. All right, so season 3 starts, and so you have all the regular roster back, right? Everyone is back and healthy again.
Yeah, except for Miniac. I think the injury lasted until the very end of season 3, but she was there in season 3 at the end.
Okay, all right. So did you guys put like all the the entire show together and then put the entire thing up, or did you do it match by match on each show?
We would usually do these, we called them events or Backyard Mania, where everybody would get together at wherever we were filming at the time. We changed locations so many times for various reasons. And yeah, we would get together. We would film sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 matches, depends on many things. Mm-hmm. And then it would get edited and put on YouTube. At one point, they were going every week, and then they decided to go every second week with the uploads to stretch our seasons out a little bit longer.
Okay. So I noticed you guys had a show called Carnage. When did that come into the fold?
That was a big part of CHW's history, Carnage. Because when we started CHW in 2009, YouTube wasn't really, as you mentioned earlier, it wasn't as big as it is today. Not everybody was using it. It was still kind of new. Mm-hmm. So you could put videos on YouTube, but getting 1 million views or making money off of YouTube was really impossible. So at the time, to make revenue for CHW, what we did was we produced DVDs that we would sell. Season 1 DVD, best of Swede Savard, best of Bruiser, whatever. And that's how we made our money, to buy tables and chairs and all that stuff. So in 2004, not 2004, season 4, sorry, when our channel really started to get big, we decided to monetize the YouTube channel, which also meant putting a lot more content on YouTube, not just the matches or a music video of the match, but full-length matches, interviews, exclusive footage, stuff that we were previously saving on the DVDs to make people, want to buy the DVDs.
Right.
So yeah, Carnage was really when we decided to just go all in with YouTube and just give you guys as much content as we could.
All right, awesome. I have noticed that the uploads today on the channel is match by match. That's why I asked. I had to know information. So
yeah, that's basically what the CHW network is. I always say it's making more modern day episodes of Carnage out of old matches, which were just basically previews for the DVD.
Right. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I do have to ask you about this. So on the website here, for the Bruiser, is it just me, or does he kind of look like Raven?
He does. I see it. I see it very much.
I like leather jacket, long hair,
very long curly hair,
mysterious kind of vibe there. I'm like,
absolutely.
That seems like Raven.
Yeah, you're not the first person to notice that.
Which makes sense, being from Philadelphia, and Raven was like one of the biggest in ECW, so I definitely understand that.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're talking about season 3, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so season 3. At the end of it, did you guys do anything like big for Miniax when she was, healthy and ready to come back? Like attack anybody, or?
She surprised me and everybody else when she showed up in the Tag Team Championship tournament. They were crowning the first ever Tag Team Champions in CHW. I was in over my head having to fight Body Count, which was the team of David Storm and Scorpion. And she just ran out and said, "I'm going to be your partner." So that was her big return to CHW.
Nice. All right, so season 3 ends. Do you lose anybody for that? Is that because I mean, it looks like it sounds like your roster is very slowly dwindling, mostly from life, but it's 3 people from season 2 to season 3. Is there anybody you lose after season 3?
No, absolutely not. It was the opposite. At that point, it was always more and more and more wrestlers as the year went on.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, that really gives a lot of people. It gives the fans something new, bringing in new wrestlers.
I mean, over the years, we've been around 8 years, so for sure you're going to have people that are going to leave, new people that are going to join in. But one thing that was cool about CHW, in my opinion, is that there was like a core group of people that were always there. I'm talking about myself, Miniac, Jesse the Bruiser Bedard, Matt Rage, the original 4. Not only them, but when you think about people like Cristo Diavolo, Innovator, Executor, Team FTW, this was like your core roster member, the people that everybody knew, people that generally were pretty successful in CHW. And of course, you're going to have others that join in and out depending on how things go, because it's a rough sport. A lot of people try out CHW, they do a season with us, and then at the end of the summer, when you start looking at your cuts and bumps and bruises, they're not too eager to jump in the next season.
Yeah. I had my own company for a little bit. It's awesome. Very, very short. And the way that I did things obviously was different from what a lot of other people did. I like the more hardcore stuff.
Excellent.
I picked up one of my friends and I tried to slam him into a fence. He wasn't having it. And I'm like, you could have told me that. Like, just like, hey, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. A little heads up wouldn't hurt.
Right. He starts grabbing a fence. I'm like, but you didn't tell me.
It sucks when that happens,
but you know what? That's wrestling for you.
Absolutely.
Um. So is there anything big that you guys do like at the beginning of all the seasons? Like, do you announce any like huge matches or anything before anything comes out?
We always do meetings before the summer starts. So, example, if we start filming in June, then probably sometime in May, Matty Boyle or whoever the GM is going to call everybody together. We're going to have talks about what our ambitions are, what like division we want to be in, what belts we want to go after, and whatnot. Um, and at the end of every season, we always did awards night where we would present Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, OMG Moment of the Year. And those two things, the meeting and the awards night, really sandwiched everything together. Everything else was the meat and the sandwich.
Did you ever record any of the year-end awards or best of whatever you guys did there?
Absolutely. I believe we did 3 of them that we decided to film.
Okay.
One was after season 4, one was after season 5, and then probably season 6. The 4th one that we did, it never aired, I think.
Oh.
And I think that was the one at the end of our last season, if I'm not mistaken. Right before we closed officially, we did film an awards night, but it never made air.
Oh.
I won Backyard Wrestler of the Year, just so that everybody knows. You guys never seen it on YouTube, but I was Backyard Wrestler of the Year, damn it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? For what I've seen, you deserve it, sir.
Thank you very much. I try.
So what was the overall reason for closing up shop and moving on from CHW?
Right. Well, there was 2 main reasons. I'm sure there's many little reasons, but the 2 main reasons was that unfortunately time catches up with all of us, and a lot of us just got old. Maybe not physically old. You might think that 30 years old isn't that old, but when you go for as long as and hard as we did, yeah, at 30 years old you start feeling it, the back, the shoulders and everything. So there was that. And not just so much the age, but when this wrestler gets married, this wrestler has a kid, this wrestler moves away, it's like you just evolve in life. You start putting priorities on other things like raising your family. So a lot of the guys were going through that, just going through changes of their life, growing up, if you want to say,
growing up,
put it
sure.
that way, but growing up, wife and kids, it's understandable. Yeah. And another big reason that they don't mention is 2016 was really a crap year, let's just say, for YouTube. They started flagging a lot, and like the content that you were allowed to put on YouTube completely changed, which really made our channel numbers hit the ground. And obviously monetization went down.
Yeah.
And that was a big reason. That was a big reason too. Our channel was taking a major hit.
So if now I'm just gonna say if a reunion happens, would it be that hardcore stuff, or would it be more towards like professionally produced stuff where it's not like light tubes and death matches and it's more wrestling? Is that a chance? Or
I mean, that's a very good question. I really wish I could answer that. Let me rub my head into the crystal ball, But I could tell you, after talking with some of those guys, as I mentioned, I talked to them all back in October.
Yeah.
I think everybody's ready to go. After 5 years away from the backyard, we're feeling like having one more good show, one more balls to the wall, if you will, light tubes, thumbtacks, whatever we could find, really.
All right.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if because when you get older, you also get a bit smarter, so you're able to really think things through. Think of some sinister setups, with the double tables and the chairs, and so I wouldn't be surprised if it's even not so much more violent if we do it again, but probably more thought out, more of a spectacle, more of a show.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and if you need anybody extra, you know where to find me.
I got your name down. Don't worry.
That's right. Okay, cool. I'm actually pretty excited. If this happens, I wasn't there in the beginning in the first 8, but I'd definitely be there for 9, I guess, if you'd call it that.
Yeah, probably season 9. They would call it.
Um, yeah, cool. So the season 4 starts, and now, so how many tag teams have you been in the history of CHW?
Me personally,
Mm-hmm.
really only two. There was my partnership with the Bruiser Bedard, and of course my wife Miniac.
Of course. Um, so to begin season 4, were you guys still in that tag team, or was it like, well, let's start off separate, and then maybe down the line, uh, we could come together?
Well, we actually came into season 4 as the CHW Backyard Champion, so we
Okay.
were on the same page. But what happened in the first week of season 4, I remember it like it was yesterday. CHW was holding a 10-man gauntlet match
Oh.
to crown the new CHW Backyard Champion. And me and Miniac came out at number 8 and number 9. So we had to fight each other. Even though we were tag team champions, we still had to go at it because me and her know that when the title's on the line, everything, the relationship, the partnership, the tag team championship, that all goes to the side because we both
Right.
want to be the best. We both want to be number 1 in the backyard. So we went at it in one of my favorite, I want to say matches, but it wasn't really a match because it was like in a gauntlet, it's a match within a match. You know what I mean?
It's like 10 separate matches within one huge match.
Exactly, yeah. But I could say that match within a match was one of my favorite times in the CHW backyard, and it ended so controversial. So I'll never forget that.
So do you watch any backyard wrestling today? Do you watch any of the small feds that have started up?
Oh, absolutely. I'm always checking it out. Whatever I see pop on my timeline or my recommended videos, because I watch a lot of backyard wrestling,
Yeah.
I click on it. There's a few. There's Tennessee Backyard Wrestling that I watch. They're pretty good. There's Backyard Pro, which is okay. There's so many great leagues out there.
Oh, sorry. You said Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, and I know a lot of the guys in there. And the fed that I'm with, we actually had some differences there.
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, it was just really funny. That was the first one you rattled off. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. But their numbers are there. They actually have really good numbers on their videos. So
yeah, I agree.
You got to give them credit to there.
Oh yeah, totally. It's some of the guys personally just aren't very good.
Fair enough.
But no, I agree. I mean, they have 1.2 thousand subscribers, hundreds of views on all their videos. I mean, they're doing well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I respect them. Just not all of them. That's all.
Yeah, but you got your differences, which is okay too, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna ask another question. I can't remember what it was.
See, those concussions are already coming to
you. So season 4, it said you were a 3-time backyard champion, right?
I was probably still a 1-time champion because my last 2 reigns came much more recent, season 6 and season 7.
Oh no, it's 3-time CHW backyard champion. Yeah. All right. So the first time it was to keep the title warm for Miniacs. Which
I failed.
What was the second time you won that? When was that?
That was actually against Miniac in season 6. We did the first ever. I think it was like an Ironman match. Most falls in 25 minutes wins.
Oh.
And again, it always ends in controversy when it's me and my wife fighting. I went to give her an Irish whip. And my side of the story is that I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going for the Irish whip, and she just happened to fall through the entrance stage.
Oh.
Her side of the story is that I meant to do it, that I maliciously wanted to kill my wife, right? Because I'm that kind of guy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But one thing that's for sure is, with 30 seconds left in the match, I made sure to get the pinfall 1, 2, 3 so I can win. Yeah, she wasn't too happy to see that footage after the match.
So I won. That's all that matters.
Yep. Had to break that tie. It was going on for too long. I mean, she's dead anyway, right?
Right,
Whether I
right,
stand
yeah,
there for 30 seconds or just get the pinfall, what does it change?
that's
It
right.
doesn't change anything.
Exactly.
Except for the
You just
current
stand.
CHW Backyard Champion, that changes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Brand new, and it doesn't really matter what happened to the person laying on the ground.
Absolutely.
I won.
Well,
That's all that matters here.
one problem at a time, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. First, I'm gonna win this championship, and then maybe we'll discuss what happened after. But maybe
Exactly. Priorities.
priorities. Exactly. Um.
Good times.
Oh man, killing my wife. Can't wait. Oh man, honestly, my fiance hates wrestling. She's not a fan.
Really?
Not a fan.
Maybe she could do some managerial work for you.
Oh man, I hope. Oh, that'd be great. If only. If only. Hmm. I had another question about your roster, but I don't remember what it was now. Oh, so I saw that there is a was it interstate championship?
That's right. Yeah.
So obviously CHW started with the backyard championship. Tag teams came in a couple years later. When did the interstate championship? When did that become a thing?
That came in, I think, the beginning of season 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Kind of take me through the interstate champion kind of like why did you name it that? Why does the belt look like that? Kind of take me through that whole kind of that thought process.
Absolutely. As our roster just kept on expanding more and more every year, the need for a secondary title came into play. And we wanted something similar to the United States Championship that WWE has, or the Intercontinental Championship. So we went with Interstate because it reminded us, just the name Interstate, it almost reminds you a bit of hardcore wrestling with the street signs, the 15 miles an hour sign that we have. And when they told me to design the belt, because I was the one that designed the Interstate Championship belt for CHW to use, that's why the belt has that design with Interstate, black in the middle, 15 kilometers, the street sign. So that's pretty much how the Interstate Championship came to be, the need for a secondary title. And we wanted something hardcore.
Okay, yeah. Have you seen Taz's belt, FTW?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. I love the colors. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah. I was kind of hoping he would defend it himself. But that's just a pipe dream for me,
Yeah, maybe his son will. Last time I watched, I think his son started making his debut on television. Hook, his name is, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah. That'd be pretty cool if he beat Brian Cage for that. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, wrestling. Anything's possible. I mean, WWE had a 10-year-old win the tag team belt, so anything can happen.
Anything could happen. Anything.
So, I don't know. I can't remember anything. I had a few questions already planned, but I don't remember half of them now. I wanted to ask you about the genie in the lamp?
Oh God.
What is that?
That's one of the silliest ideas that CHW ever came up with. But if you just look at the views on that video, if I'm not mistaken, it's the most viewed backyard wrestling match of all time on all of YouTube. If I'm not mistaken. I haven't checked. I don't know if another match maybe surpassed it, but I could say that the Genie in the Lamp match is one of the most viewed matches of all time in backyard wrestling history. So just that in itself is amazing. But I mean, the concept of it is just so silly, right? I remember it when Matty Boyle was telling us all about this new match that he created. He wanted something similar to Money in the Bank, but not really. He wanted to just go a step further. So he came up with this magic lamp that he was going to hang above, and we were all asking, how the hell is that going to work? And the deal was that you would have to do what the lamp told you to do. So if the lamp tells you to pull your pants down, you pull your pants down. If they tell you to lie down for a 3 count, you have to do it. You have to listen to the lamp. That was the logic behind it. And there was some silly moments. I remember that time that Agent X stopped time, which was a very controversial moment. But we were in the middle of a 12-man match, and this guy says, "I want my second wish. Time stops." And all of us just completely froze. It was like that challenge. What was the name of that challenge a few years ago?
The mannequin challenge.
Yeah, the mannequin challenge.
Yeah.
We literally did a mannequin challenge before the mannequin challenge was ever a thing.
Wow.
And everybody just froze. Agent X slowly climbed up the ladder. He went and got the belt. He took the kendo stick out of Nikki Chance's hand and put a banana in it. And he did all kinds of jokes. He did something with the dawning that I don't want to even remember. Bent one of them over, but anyway. And then before he leaves, this guy says, "Oh yeah, time can resume." And then all of a sudden we're like, what the hell just happened? Where's the belt? What is this banana doing in my hand? It was madness. It was just madness to be a part of that.
Wow, that actually sounds pretty interesting, I gotta say.
Yeah, and I think even the cameraman played their part, as in there was no more moving around with the camera. The camera stayed in place. Everything, it's like time itself stopped. I couldn't believe it.
Wow, that sounds very complicated, actually.
Yeah, it absolutely was. But one thing, and I think what it succeeded the most, was that it got everybody talking, because you're gonna have the fans that say, "This is awesome. That's amazing. You guys pulled it off good." Like, they like it.
Of course.
And then you're going to have the other side of the coin where fans are going to be like, "This is BS. This is garbage. How could you guys do this to the business?" and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? When people are talking, good things happen, because whether you're tuning into our videos to like it or hate it, to us, it's another view. It's another possible subscriber. And numbers are important, as we mentioned.
Of course. I think it's funny, I do, multiple different types of content on YouTube. And sometimes on my videos, I'll get people like, "Oh, well, this is stupid." Like, "Well, you just watched it. So thanks for the view and the comment." Like, that's engagement for me, no matter what you're trying to say to me. So
yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that, unfortunately.
No, I have a video that has over, I think it's up to 160,000 views.
Oh, wow, that's good.
And like over like 1,000 comments or something, and most of the comments are, "Well, this is stupid, this is dumb, I can't believe you said that." And it's like, yeah, but you're watching it and then you're commenting on it, so it's gonna get recommended to more people, because
exactly,
I don't likes, dislikes, all of it. It's engagement. You're doing this and you're helping me, and you don't even realize it. Like,
yeah. I say let the keyboard warriors do their thing, man.
Exactly, yeah. Like, it's just amazing to me. They're like, "Oh, well, that's stupid." Like, well, you just commented, so
yeah, exactly.
There's no logic there.
I mean, you gotta not be scared to stir the pot a little bit, and even if any kind of YouTuber, not just backyard wrestling, but any kind of YouTuber that could do something that'll get people to talk, that's where it's at.
Well, I always follow the Eric Bischoff quote: "Controversy creates cash."
And he's right about that.
He is
right about that.
Of course. So that when you were telling me about this, I'm like, that's the only thing that came to my head was, it's a controversy and it's going to create more cash for everybody else. Like, that's
exactly.
Did you guys get any, or did you get any negative comments about using the light tubes and the thumbtacks and all that kind of stuff?
More from parents than kids. Yeah. The kids loved it. The teenagers, obviously,
of course,
loved it. We had a very young fan base, statistically speaking.
Of course.
But it was the parents that would give us emails. One of them was really bad when we made it was like a how to make a table montage or video, something like that. And then of course a kid went and made a table and he jumped through the table, and then the parent emailed us saying, "Look at what you made my kid do. You made him jump through the table." And we talked to the parent and we said, "I don't think we made anybody do anything. I don't have the magical powers to make a kid jump through a table."
Right.
But they must have missed the part of the video where we said, "Don't try this at home. Be safe about it. You must be trained before you go break one of these tables." So
right, yeah.
So yeah, as for negative comments, yeah, we got it. A lot from parents though, parents and teachers.
And teachers, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that that parents will be like, "Well, look what you made my kid do." Like, well, I didn't make him. Kids are pretty impressionable by themselves. Like, they don't have to be told to do anything. They just gotta do it. Like,
oh, absolutely. Lord knows we did,
Right, exactly. I haven't been a wrestling fan for very long. About I guess this would be my 6th year watching wrestling.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah, and me and my brother never really watched it, but we still wrestled. Like we knew some of the moves, I guess, but like we wrestled all the time, and we never really thought about it. It's just one of those things, or at least boys are just prone to doing that. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
why women live longer than men, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I didn't create that quote. I just see it a lot on the internet.
It's a true quote. I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, I don't know why it's something weird with our brains where men are just inherently more risk taking than women are, and it's just kind of interesting that look, men are wrestling now, and it's just a thing that's happening because who cares,
Exactly.
But
there is some craziness out there on YouTube. I'm not sure if you know about this other backyard wrestling league called POR. Maybe they're called POR Stunts, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I've heard of them, but I haven't watched any of their stuff.
Yeah, there's a guy there named JJ Allen. He's one of my friends on Facebook. We chat and keep in touch. But their stuff is just crazy. I mean, I've seen people get hit by cars. I've seen like a Death Valley driver off of a trailer as a car was driving right through the trailer. They just did some crazy stuff in that league.
Wow, that is insane.
Yeah, like stuff that I wouldn't even do. I wouldn't be caught dead doing any of the stuff that I see on their channel.
Wow, that's not just risk taking. That's like death defying stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen them use whippersnappers, those vine whip things. Oh.
Really?
Oh, yeah, all kinds of stuff. I would recommend checking them out, anybody listening to this podcast. POR Stunts. You could find them YouTube. They have a website now.
Well, I'm going to do a little watching on Twitch for them.
Absolutely.
That's very interesting. So I have to talk to you about my friends because I told them yesterday, and I know I just sent you a screenshot of one of my friends.
Right.
I told my friends, I'm like, yeah, so I got a new interview set up for tomorrow, and they're like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, do you guys want to? I'm like, do you guys know this guy? Oh my god, they acted like, no joke, like they acted like I got like The Rock on this. Like they were, my friend Mikey, he's like that's my favorite backyard wrestler of all time. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, just stop using all caps.
Yeah.
I get it, but stop. Like,
fair enough.
But hey, man, everyone loves you. My friend Tony, all my friends in SVBW, even a couple of TBW guys are like, I used to watch him all the time. Like they all love you, and I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry that I don't love you. I do like you. You're very nice. I do enjoy talking to you. I haven't been into wrestling as long as everybody else has.
Fair enough, but the library is always there. So anytime you feel like checking us out, CHW Backyard, we're not hard to find.
That's true. So I started to watch a match yesterday. I was at work, so I was on break, and I'm like, oh, I'll look this up real quick. One of the first video I think I watched was the beginning of it didn't have any music. Did you guys just not use music, or?
Early on, we were making more music video compilations with our videos, but later on, we were just doing the full-length matches.
Okay. But like when he came out, you didn't use like any
entrance music.
Yeah.
No, we never decided to go with entrance music because just because of what we were doing, we always wanted to create a product that looked more real, not so much the glitz and glamour of professional wrestling where the lights come off and the music hits and the fireworks, and then somebody takes that long walk down to the ring, poses in the four corners. This was backyard wrestling, right? We're walking from a fence to the middle of the backyard, which takes all of 10 steps. So I figured if we would have added in entrance music and ladies and gentlemen from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is cool. There's nothing wrong with that, but we didn't want it to look like that. We wanted it, honestly, our vision was it to look like a street fight. Imagine, say you're at a bar, right? And there's some drinking and two people start, looking at one's wife and they start fighting, and then, let's take this outside. So then everybody leaves outside. What's going to happen? Of course, it's 2021. almost said 20. That was 3 years ago.
That's right.
Everybody pulls out their phone, right? And they're going to watch one person leave the bar all angry and pissed off. And then you're going to see the other guy leave the bar and they're going to start pushing and they're going to start fighting. Well, we wanted to be that.
Okay.
You know, if you're at a bar, there's no music, there's no announcer, there's barely even a referee. Maybe security will come pull you guys apart. But we always wanted to look more like that, something that is real, that possibly could happen.
Okay.
And not the whole glitz and glamour of professional wrestling. Right. As beautiful as the glitz and glamour is, I love me some glitz and glamour, but we didn't want to go there with it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I had to ask. You know, I'm like, I didn't hear any music. I don't know what's happening.
Oh no, absolutely. A lot of people ask, and a lot of people request for music. And another thing too is getting theme music, custom theme music, is really hard because I would love to come out to, Rage Against the Machine or something like that. But then, of course, the video would get flagged because, copyright infringement. You can't use music that's not yours, blah, blah, blah. So we could produce our own music. But again, we're not WWE. We don't have a musical producer at the snap of our fingers,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. At least for my Mafia's music there, it was just like a free instrumental. And I had my friend had his other friend put in, he said the name of the the Midwest Mafia, and he used like a voice, changer, pitch it down.
Right.
So obviously, that is custom to me, because it was free, and it is changed, so it's no longer theirs, it is mine.
Right.
But yeah, like using like Shine Down or like for me like Eminem, like that video would be taken down so quickly, like it wouldn't even be up on YouTube.
Absolutely. And we tried to do more trash talking because let's say our entrances were 15 seconds, let's just say you got 15 seconds to get from this side of the fence to the middle of the yard, 10 steps. You try to say something, introduce yourself, Pride Philly in the house. And tonight I'm going to bury somebody in blood and then walk down to the yard or something. That was terrible. I haven't wrestled in 5 years or cut promos in 5 years. But, you always try to engage with your audience before making your way. But no, we decided to go against using theme songs.
Okay. So after CHW ended, did you personally, I can't speak, I know you can't speak for everybody. Did you personally get any calls from any indie, local indie promotions to like show up or do anything with them?
I'm not going to lie. There was a few. There's been a few leagues that have contacted me to compete. Unfortunately for them, I had to decline because I feel like I left CHW on such a personal high note. It was my league. It was, the league meant so much to me. These were some of the people, the brothers that I loved so much. And for me, it wouldn't feel right to just, start wrestling in some indie league for possibly 1 or 2 matches. So I always declined, but the offers were there. I did have a few leagues approach me.
Okay. No, this is coming back to, me personally. Would you ever travel to another backyard fed to do anything?
Most likely. I wouldn't be against doing that. There is one other league that I appeared in. It's called ASW Philly, All-Star Wrestling in Philadelphia.
Oh.
Yeah, I did a couple of things with them. I wish I would have done more, but I showed up. I was the special guest referee. I got physically involved in a couple of their videos. I don't remember exactly which video it is, but it's out there. I've appeared in other backyard wrestling leagues.
Okay. I will definitely have to check that out then.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be cool. I know this is live, and I know they're gonna watch it later, but I think it'd be cool if if I could have you come down and meet my buddy Mikey and maybe do something with him.
That'd be awesome. I'd be down.
Awesome. All right, so we're almost at an hour. Do you have to go, or do you have time for a couple more questions?
I have time. I have about 12 more battery points on my phone, so I'm not sure when this is going to die. I probably got about 5-10 minutes left, maybe.
Okay. All right. So it's not going to take that long, but
I should have listened to my wife and bring the charger, but I don't have the charger with me. I'm here in my gym.
So do you still practice, I guess, train and still do all that kind of stuff as well?
No, I don't do too much training anymore, but one thing that I have done to help heal my back a little bit, because that's really where the pain has been
Yeah.
coming to me. I use this thing called the tense machine, Dr. Ho's tense machine. What it is it's electrotherapy. You get these two little rubber pads that kind of stick to your back or your shoulders or your legs, wherever it hurts. And you turn it on, and what it does is it sends electricity into your body. Like it gives you these little zaps every couple of seconds, and it does these patterns. And I'm not a scientist. I don't know how the heck they made it, but
Right.
I could say that it works. It works amazing for me. So
Okay.
not trying to be a salesman here, but
Right.
if anybody watching has any aches and pains, go for Dr. Ho's tense machine. It's worked 110% for me.
All right. Cool. Um, I guess that was it. I do want to thank you sincerely. I know I told you before this, but I do want to really thank you for doing this. You know, I heard so much, and you are a really nice guy. Like you are really nice.
Oh, thank you very much. I've enjoyed every moment of being on your show. Thank you very much for the invite.
Of course. But yeah, so I want to thank you 100% for doing this. And of course, maybe I can get you on the actual podcast here soon.
Absolutely, we'll stay in touch.
Maybe for Royal Rumble predictions. I have a few of my friends coming on, so I'm sure they'd love to meet you.
Absolutely, yeah. I plan on watching the Rumble coming up. I never miss me a Royal Rumble. That's
Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Those two you can't miss ever.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, what? So I'm actually wearing a Fiend shirt.
Nice.
What? I know you've watched. I'm sure you've watched Bray Wyatt before.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on the Fiend?
I love everything about the Fiend. There was, of course, that match in I think it was Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago when Goldberg came out and took the title from them.
Yeah.
I did not like that one bit. I'm not a big Goldberg fan. I'm not going to lie. But besides that bump in the road, I think that they've done good things with the Fiend. His character is constantly evolving. It's evolving to this very day. We don't know what's happening with Orton and Alexa Bliss and all that. So
yeah.
no, I like the Fiend. I'm a big fan of the Fiend.
All right. Yeah. Me too. Obviously, a huge fan. But yeah. All right. So I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much. Seriously.
Thank you very much for having me. We'll stay in touch, bro.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Thanks for everybody watching. All the comments, whether they're here now or they're gonna watch later. Thank you very much for watching. Love you guys.
So anyone who watches this, make sure you go check out the website, weathersmediacomp.com. Check out their website. I believe it is chwbackyard.com.
Absolutely.
It has been updated since 2016, but that's okay. You can still look at it. And if you're watching this, you're not subscribed to the channel. Is there any social media you want to plug before we get out of here?
I'm an old school guy. I'm on Facebook. That's really all I use. So Swede Savard at Facebook.
Okay. I did make this really quick. I'm not sure if you saw it at the beginning, but there you go. Pride of Philly. Thank you. That's right. Thank you, Mr. Savard, and we will definitely have to see you again. So we'll see everybody next time.
Take care, guys.